Kegeshi, and I am grateful for this opportunity to stand in front of you and talk to you about food. I am grateful for suitable helpers because as Christians, we sometimes tend to think the Bible is the only thing that we are supposed to look at, but we need to be holistic, and that involves food. And if you're supposed to dominate, then you're supposed to dominate in every area of life, right? So I am a daughter in Daughter's Closet. Hi, Daughter's Closet. And so nutrition is basically obtaining food for necessary, oh sorry, you can sit down. It's obtaining food for health and growth. And like Apostle has said, I'm not a preacher, but I hope to edify you on a few things. And nutrition for success, and success helps us dominate, right? So we need to be successful. For me, I usually term success as personal. It's like success to me can be waking up in the morning without snoozing an alarm. Success can be building mansions, building a city. Success to someone else can be anything else. So success nutritionally can be the small steps that you take to be better, eat better, and work better. Because with food, because it's fuel, it's like a car, it can't function without fuel. So it is important that we eat right. When we eat right, then we are able to work better in the workplace, and that helps us dominate. So I've always loved food. I've always loved food so much because when I was in primary, I remember I used to love being in the kitchen and trying to find out how recipes are made, how food is made. And in school, when I was in high school, I used to ask my mom for lists of ingredients that I can make food with. So I would come home, have sent my mom earlier a list to buy a few ingredients for the food, and she would buy, and I would go home with my friend Michelle, and we would make a lot of food for high school students. But if you've gone through the Kenyan system, you understand that food is, you get hungry, and food is quite limited in school. And so that love for food helped me study, give me the passion to study more about it. And I learned about the science of food and nutrition. So I'm happy to share a few of my knowledge with you. So with food, in relation to your brain is the number one focus. When you eat food, your food is digested and the nutrients are absorbed into the system, and that way your brain is able to work well. So the gut is like a second brain. When you're hungry, people say an angry man is a hungry man. So when you're hungry, it's almost like your stomach controls you. And so that basically, getting hungry usually is a sign to your body that you need some essential nutrients. And if you eat well, that usually means that you get less mood swings, right? And most of the time, when you're in a bad mood, you just need food, or you just need a bit of sugar to increase your energy. And when you eat good food, and especially sugar, it goes and activates your chemicals in the brain that help you be creative, have focus. You've heard of some chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, which are chemicals that are important for concentration, memory. So with memory, basically, if you have poor memory, then maybe there's something in your diet you're lacking. And yes, and for you to help your brain, for you to feed your brain, there are a few things that you can eat, among others. And as I talk about general things in our diet that we need, I would like you to note that it is important that throughout all the list of foods that you're asked to eat, the most important thing is to maintain a balanced diet. You need to have color on your plate. They say, rather, studies show that the more color is on your plate, the more nutrients you're getting for your body. So when you make your food, if you just have brown and white there, it's almost like there's no nutrients you're getting. And I usually advise people to add greens to your food, even breakfast. Eat ndoma and mishiri, like add French beans, add lettuce. If you're taking a sandwich with bread, add a lot of lettuce in between. It gives you better energy throughout the day. So foods that can help your mind or brain is fish oils. You've heard of omega-3. I remember in high school you used to say, when you take 7 C's, you're going to be the first in your class. It's basically good fish oils. You should eat fish and mostly the head, which people don't actually like eating. But it's good to eat fish, especially oily fish, and seeds and nuts, which I will mention a lot. Nuts and seeds have nice, they have nice ingredients and nice nutrients in them. On a normal day, you should have a bit of nuts and seeds to snack on, and not too much, because sometimes when your body has enough nutrients that it needs, the rest is like garbage. So if you have poor nutrition, then that means if you lack memory and you're supposed to dominate, how are you going to dominate when you don't have good memory or focus, right? So you need to work on your brain to dominate and be successful. The second part of your life that you need to work on is your sleep. Sleep is very important. Sleep with nutrition is important. And food, Apostle has mentioned that sometimes you can eat and in the morning when you wake up, you're tired or more miserable than you went to bed. And this is because we are eating at odd times. It is important to note that your body rests also when you go to bed. So when you eat, let's say at 10 p.m. and you're supposed to sleep until 6 p.m., your body has only a few minutes, because when you rest, your body is rested. That means your metabolism is not fast. And that means when you wake up, it's like something has, quote unquote, fermented in your stomach, because the process wasn't going on well. You need to eat at least 3 hours before bedtime. I understand some people are busy and you're not able to have the time to eat before you sleep, but I will suggest a few solutions for you. But sleep is very, very related to your cardiovascular system. That is your heart. Your heart slows down when you sleep, right? And when you're awake, it's active. That's what generally controls the flow of blood. And the flow of blood is what? Nutrition. So you need to eat well for your heart to pump well, for you to sleep well. Okay? So for you to have a healthy heart, there's foods you need to eat, like, I'll keep on mentioning seeds, the good fat, right? Seeds have nice macronutrients, small nutrients that you don't need much of, but they're very essential in your process, like sleeping with your heart. Mostly you need something like fish also. You need to eat legumes and dark chocolate. People say chocolate is bad, but not all chocolate. You can have dark chocolate, which is good. It has antioxidants, which antioxidants basically reduce the death of your cells. So when you hear people talk about antioxidants, they're important in your process in your body. And these antioxidants are also found in leafy greens and vegetables. And also you need to eat things that add iron to your body, because iron makes the blood, and the blood is what is used to take nutrients to your body, your brain, your heart. So try to eat a few hours before bed, and even before you sleep. I'm going to talk about hydration, but water is the most important thing. Water can even be another conversation, really, because water helps in absorption of nutrients, and it is important for you to keep hydrating throughout the day, because the water will help in the right absorption of even water adds energy. There's a process in your body where water is used to break down some nutrients. So you need water, and it is very essential. Try take water immediately after you wake up. When you go to bed, take water. You had rather eat earlier, take water as you feel hungry before you sleep, because some people feel quite hungry before bed, right? And for your diet, like I've said, is important that you have the three major, like you have a nice plate with three major food groups. That is your carbohydrates, your proteins, and your vitamins or fats, which is important. Like your plate, as colorful as it is, color can be, rice is white, your meat is brownish or reddish, your greens are green with a few maybe bell peppers, like the yellow, green, red hoho. You can put them on your plate just to add that nice, to add those nice nutrients. You can also sprinkle some seeds on top of your food. Some people maybe don't like the texture of your fruits, the seeds. I also don't really like chewing on the seeds and nuts. So you can try make something like maybe a paste of the snacks that you can put in your food. You don't have to use a lot of it, really. I like baking. That's my business right now. And when I'm baking at home, sometimes can be tiring to eat all that sugar. So how I try to make my meals better is by adding those things. So now maybe when you're baking something like, let's say, scones, if you blend your seeds and add them to the dough, right? You won't taste the seeds, but you will feel better that you've eaten something nicer that you wouldn't ordinarily. If you don't like the texture, maybe you wouldn't eat it. Okay? And soda, sweets, they're good. And I like the fact that you're given sweets while coming in. It's actually important. When I was in high school, we were given sweets before exams. And it's actually just giving you that direct energy. When you take sugar that is concentrated, it goes directly into your bloodstream. Sugar doesn't have to go to your system to be digested. So it's nice that sweets give you that, that boost that you need of energy. But instead of taking those sweets and soda and what to give you energy throughout the day, I would suggest eating whole foods. Whole foods are things like oats or beans. Basically, whole foods are things that have not undergone too much processing, right? Which help you get energy throughout the day. Because sugar is not the best, really. You need it, but too much sugar is not nice. And this is actually in everything, really. Too much of something is poisonous. We've all heard that. I'll not stand here and tell you, don't eat meat, don't take sugar, don't drink soda. If you feel like drinking soda, drink it. If you feel like eating sweets, eat them, but in moderation, and know what it does to your body. And the thing with those concentrated sugars is that they give you sugar rush. Now, like if you take a sweet right now, it will give you a nice high. You listen to me, you finish, and then after that you have a hard crash. Now the sugar has been depleted, and the only way for you to revive it is by taking another sweet. So it's not a nice cycle. It's better if you had woken up and taken maybe like nduma that you just boiled. Then you'd be able to have energy throughout the day, right? And at the same time, low sugar levels cause irritability and low concentration. So that is why it is nice to have something to give you that boost that goes directly to the bloodstream. You see in sports, they give you a bit of glucose to lick a bit. That gives you a nice boost of energy, but it is better that before you even participate in an activity, it is better for you to have eaten the whole foods. Then that way your body has time to digest them and be absorbed, and then that way you have food that is essential. And the sugar that is in soda, you can't compare it to the sugar that is in nduma. Actually, sugar has been extracted from things like beetroot, and you see, beetroot is not the most pleasant thing to eat, at least for me. You see, And for you to have a boost of energy throughout the day, it is important to have fruits and vegetables throughout the day. Instead of eating the sweets, I would recommend that you eat maybe like a banana, half a banana, or a vegetable. Then you have constant energy than the sweets that will give you a hard crash. And for this is another point for energy and concentration. For you to be successful, you have to have the energy and the concentration. Most of the things that give us money require our hands or some type of energy, maybe in your brain or where you work. You need to have the accurate energy. I have mentioned whole foods. Try as much as possible to eat things in their wholeness. Not to say that processed foods are bad, because processed foods have the advantage of giving us a longer shelf life. If you bought a pineapple today, for example, and you put it on your shelf and you're supposed to eat it through the week, it will get spoiled faster than the pineapple that is canned. But the issue comes in where the canned pineapple has preservatives, right? And sometimes the preservatives are not nice for our body. And another advantage for whole foods is that they have fiber. We know fiber is essential for digestion, right? And fiber also helps reduce cholesterol in our body. When the food is being digested in your large and small intestines, the fiber from your food helps in the digestion. And fiber also reduces blood sugar. So it is important for you to eat. Even the nuts you eat have fiber. The whole foods have fiber. Try and eat, like, let's say ndoma. You can even sometimes see the strings. The strings are what we call fiber. And so basically, whole foods, if you're going to get anything about whole foods, that's the whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. Try to eat that more in your diet than anything else. With the whole foods, try and eat proteins. The good thing about proteins is they keep you fuller for longer, right? When you eat, if you eat, let's say if today morning someone eats a slice of bread and 2 eggs, and you eat 4 slices of bread, they are more likely to last till around 3 p.m. than yourself, because proteins take a longer time to be digested, and that way they make you feel fuller, and they have very nice benefits. And with that, you need to add a small amount of fat. When I say fat, I don't mean the thing that makes us big. I mean healthy fat that is in like avocados and nuts and seeds, which are important. Fat is important in your body because that fat is the one which goes into your system, is digested, and comes back to you as energy. When you take something that has fat with sugar, it goes and creates glucose. Some of it is stored, which helps us. When you're feeling cold, you will feel less cold. Good fat will make you have energy throughout the day, right? And that is small amounts. And then with all this, you need to factor in that energy is needed throughout the day. This means you need to replenish your body frequently. So you need to eat a few meals throughout the day. Recommended is, with our system, like let's say in Kenya, we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Between breakfast and lunch, you need to have a snack of something that helps you, something like that adds you energy, which is something like, let's say, a mango, an avocado, a banana, a salad. And after your lunch, before your dinner, you need to eat something nice. During that can be a handful of nuts, which is enough for a salad, for a snack serving. When I say nuts and seeds, I don't mean now you have a whole packet and now you're eating the nuts and seeds. You need to eat in moderation. Everything really needs to be eaten in moderation. Okay? I'm going to tackle a few myths that we have about nutrition. And one of them is, like I've mentioned, that fat means gaining weight. Bad fat is what gains us weight. And not bad fat, but quote unquote bad fat is things like margarine, processed fats are the ones which are not good for your body. Try and eat healthy fats that come from the meats you eat, the fruits you eat. Those can be more energized. And fats that can come from animal products like butter is better than having the processed stuff in your system. I'm going to talk about the juices, the detox that you're told. Take this juice for 9 days, you're going to lose weight. First of all, I don't think it's possible to lose weight in 9 days. And some of these things, when you take, like for example, the detox juices that you're told when you take, it will help your system and it will detoxify. Why are you fighting with your liver? Why are you fighting with your kidneys? That is their job. All you need to do is to take a lot of water, goes to the system. It will help flush out any toxins if you have, which is what detox is saying. And I'm not saying juice is bad, but take it in moderation. Don't exchange your meals for detox juices. Some of those juices that we take have more sugar than you need for the day. So you might want to lose weight, but you will lose your water weight and you still have fat. It's not like the green juice will go and kill the fat, right? And then people say eating healthy is expensive. That's not a fact, because there's so many ways that you can eliminate the expensive part of it. Eating healthy is not expensive. I have not mentioned that you go get salmon or go eat, maybe like cook all your food with olive oil. Olive oil is expensive, especially in Kenya. I've not said that you go and maybe get all, I've not mentioned a freezer or anything like that. What I would suggest is, especially if you feel like it is expensive, start with making a list for the foods you eat during the week. If you can make a timetable, good for you. Because if you have a rotary of what you're supposed to eat, you make the list, you won't have to buy the things every day. In my household, for example, we buy things weekly or monthly, which helps us budget better. So if you make a list, you go to the soko, you buy things, it is easier for you to buy only what you need. If you guys don't eat fruit every morning, you don't have to buy a lot of fruit and then it goes bad and then you'll say it's expensive. On the matter of fruit, it brings me to another point, that buy things that are in season. I know you like mangoes, but mangoes are not available in July. What is available in July? Oranges. How about substitute the mangoes with oranges, have the oranges, and then when mangoes are in season, buy them. Furthermore, you can buy the mangoes, make juice. If you have a freezer, freeze it. For the time that there is the items are not available, you can always get them out and enjoy your fruit juice as you please, right? And if you have space at home, why don't you grow your own vegetables? There are some things that are quite easy to grow, depending on where you stay, but things like dania, they will give you a supply every day. You can even use it to make juice at some point because it grows as a bush. Instead of budgeting for that 10 bob for the dania, you can use it for something else. And all these things, to be honest, the way I see it is a few steps to success. And financial people will tell us it is nice to save even that 1 shilling where you can. So have an allocation for your lists. Make the list, go purchase them one day or daily if you want, but at least have the way you can have a list, have a system. If you can make a timetable, all the better, because now the timetable will help you know, on Monday, if I'm supposed to eat rice and beans, I know I'm supposed to add a spinach there or some lettuce salad there, right? And for those who are busy, why don't you pack lunch? Because it is expensive, yes, and people will say, oh, I don't like cold food. You don't have to carry food that you need to warm. You can always make a salad, make a sandwich, things that you don't need to warm. But if you're able to warm, you can make the food, and then this will also help you save on money, because buying things in bulk also saves us money, right? And so when you buy things in bulk and you buy them in season, that will help you. And with food also, when people say it's expensive, I would also say it's the way you see it. It's the way you look at it. There are some things we spend on that don't necessarily help. And you had rather have a nice diet, take care of your health, and eat well and not get sick than the money we spend in hospitals, which to some extent is not necessary if we just eat well, right? And another thing that helps, especially people who are busy or anyone really, is meal prep. Meal prep is nice because, and I'll say what it is. Meal prep is when you buy things, let's say if you're buying them for the week, prepare them to almost done form, and then you store them. And then when, for example, if in the week you're supposed to have rice, beans, meat, and maybe like fish, why don't you buy the food, like the fish come, fry them, store them. For the meat, some people even go to an extent of cooking everything on a day that they are not busy, like maybe on a Sunday, put them in tins, like a ready meal. And then when you come from wherever you are, from your busy schedule, you can always just take the tin and warm it. Maybe it won't work for families, but for families, the better way is to buy things in advance. It might sound like it's a common practice, but I don't think it is. Buy your beans, soak them Friday, boil them Saturday, freeze them in packets. Then that way, on Monday now, you don't have to now go, because sometimes you can feel lazy. Sometimes cooking is a lot of work. And you can feel demotivated, and then what will you do? You'll want, oh, let me go take out, buy food, maybe go outside and buy some fries or something, which is fast. They're called fast foods for a reason, because it's fast, yeah? And so meal prep is good. You can do a bit of more research on it, see what works for you, try. And meal prep can even be something simple as fruits. You can buy your fruits one day, chop them off, make a salad, put it in a big bowl. When you're supposed to go to work, that can be your quote-unquote lunch. Pack them in a tin. You don't have to eat fruits warm. Eat them at lunchtime. That's better than getting something that won't help your system. And we've said fruits will give you good energy throughout the day. And I am big on value addition. And this is, you see, we have nowadays children who, we have options. Some of us, maybe by the time we were growing up, we didn't have options. If it's githeri, it's githeri. But now you find most households, if it's githeri and your child doesn't like githeri, you cook for them fries. I would suggest that we value add our foods that children don't like. Like, let's say your child will say, oh, I don't like tomatoes when they are big. I put them outside the plate. Even as adults, some of us do that. Why don't you blend your tomatoes when you're cooking? When you're cooking, let's say I like that people add carrot and pineapples to chapati. That's actually value addition. I personally don't like pumpkin. I cannot tolerate it. But when it is in chapati, which is something that I like, I will eat it better. So you're getting nutrients indirectly. I mentioned adding seeds to a baked good. If, let's say you're eating bread in the morning, you can try and get something like chia seeds and sprinkle them on top of that processed blue band you're eating. That is better than eating just a blue band on its own, and it will give you longevity. It will make you feel fuller. Most of these nuts have a lot of protein in them. And things like, when you're eating the seeds, I've mentioned that you can always add them on top, sprinkle them. Chia seeds have no taste, and they have so much benefit. Sprinkle them, you won't even feel them when you're chewing your rice or your mbogas. And when you're making like stew, and like I've said, some people don't like the texture of some things when they're cooked. You can always add carrot. Don't make your rice boring. Add a few French beans in there, add a few carrots. Always add something that will benefit you. If you're cooking, try add the peppers. They'll make your food colorful, and you'll feel nice eating them. And that's more color, which means more nutrients. And I am not a very, this is the way we do things type of person. I like going with the flow sometimes. And especially with food, I don't like being told what to do. So how I work with it, and I would advise people who don't know how to introduce a healthy schedule. Maybe you're saying, me, all the things you've mentioned, I eat. I eat whole foods, I eat beans, I eat rice, I eat ndoma. What can I do? What can I do to make what I am doing healthier? I will say add something, add a snippet of something that adds value to your normal day-to-day, which is, for example, in our household, we have something we call an immunity shot. We make the dawa, the ginger, lemon, honey, but now we do ginger, lemon, garlic, and a few oranges, which can be healthy, and that we purpose to take it every morning. After that is a healthy type of thing that I've introduced in my system, my day-to-day. That makes me know, even if I eat stupid during the day, which we try not to, I know I have done one good thing for my body. Which, what we can do in general is add a nice routine that encourages wellness. For example, after I have taken the immunity thing in our household, I can as well add 2 bottles of water in the morning. Try and do something nice. Like, let's say, even if it is carrying nuts, try carrying nuts. After nuts, it will be, oh, I have succeeded in eating nuts throughout the day to give me energy, let me carry a fruit. Add something nice to your diet. And with things like people who say they struggle with losing weight or gaining, it is all in your diet. Even people who encourage people to work out, they usually say most of your body is made in the kitchen. If you have the thing that I encourage people with matters gaining or losing is sustainability. Try and whatever you're doing, because diets can be very annoying sometimes. You can try, you have a diet, you eat for a week, you see you're not getting your goal, you feel frustrated, right? So we can try to add something nice to our diet. And then also, especially with losing weight, what I think works for people is usually portion control. If you've been eating a big plate, try reducing the size of your plate. That can trick your brain that you're eating enough. And if your goal is to lose, then that's what's going to work for you. But we need to do things that are sustainable with nutrition. And that is why it is important for us to do things like buying things on sales, because that's sustainable and we won't think that things are expensive. And I have, as I finish, there was a talk about reducing nutrients, and we had a talk about some foods that you eat, some go to your body as garbage, because some of the nutrients you don't need. When I say that you now start adding things like fruits and vegetables, that doesn't mean you eat more fruits and vegetables. If your dietary need for zinc is 21%, that's all you need. You don't need much. So if you eat a lot of pumpkin seeds and they're supposed to give you zinc, then your body will take in all the zinc you need, and then all those seeds you eat will go to the toilet. And something interesting about life, and this just shows me how God is beautiful and he made everything beautiful. If you look at organs versus fruits, and I'll give you examples, the orange skin looks like our skin. That means if you eat an orange and maybe boil the seeds, your skin will improve. There's a nut called a walnut. It looks like your brain. It actually has the recommended things that are supposed to help your brain. If you look at tomatoes, when you cut it in half, it looks like your heart, the chambers and how the veins are distributed in your heart, for example. If you look at beans, they look like our kidneys. Beans have a direct correlation to helping our kidneys. If you look at carrots, I've had many people telling me, oh, you have problems with your eyes, eat carrots. If you cut a carrot and look at it from the round part, it looks like your eye. It actually has the pupil, the iris. And so God is just amazing. And if you feel like you have an issue, let's say with your stomach, maybe go look at what can I eat for my stomach? And you'll find it in a fruit or a seed or a vegetable, which is quite amazing. And I will say exercise is important, very important in our daily. And when I say exercise, it doesn't need to be vigorous. You don't have to kick your legs and sweat and feel like you're dying. No. Especially for busy people who say, I don't have time to exercise. We are very fortunate to have the internet. Go search for exercises that I can do while seated. Trust me, you will find some. If you live, let's say, in a place that has stairs, exercise can be going up and down that stairs 2 times. The 2 times will soon be, that's enough for me, that's easy for me. You'll go to 4, you go to 6, which is essential because it helps your heart pump. And with your heart pumping, that means the nutrients are distributed well in your body. So that is amazing. And I hope that we have learned something from what I have shared. And I hope that you will put something, that one of the things that I have mentioned, into consideration in your journey. And thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you very much.